All right, shoot the five. Shoot the five, live and direct. We are back in effect. Myself, host Xavier Porter, co-host Pat DeMoss on the other side. What's good, Pat?
What is going on? What is happening?
That's right. So we're going to give y'all a quick breakdown of what took place this past weekend. It was a lot that took place. UFC kicking ass. Well, Kabib kicking ass. And,
all right.
It is. He kicked some ass. Let's keep it real. And we got the DAZN boxing global network, DAZN Matchroom Boxing. They had a pretty good fight card. But first, we're going to talk about UFC. Pat, take it away, man. Let's talk about the guy in the red shirt. Go ahead.
All right. So listen, guys. The UFC 229 went down last weekend. I was sitting there watching the entire card live. Overall, it was a fantastic card. Had a lot of great fights, a lot of entertainment, some crazy finishes. Before we get, there's like 3 fights I want to touch on, but the first fight we got to talk about, Kabib Nurmagomedov defeating Conor McGregor, 4th round, neck crank. The fight was insane. It started off Conor trying to range his distance and then getting tied up by Kabib, taken down, right? The second round comes, gets tagged with the right hand. I mean, literally my jaw dropped. I think it surprised the entire world. Conor gets rocked in the right hand, recovers immediately, but just after that right hand, you could tell immediately was slowing down. Didn't seem to regain his juice or power that he normally has. Was taken down again and really just got it taken to him on the ground by Kabib. Huge ground and pound shot. Survives the second round. Third round comes out. Looks pretty good. Stuffing takedown. Does a good job. Kabib Nurmagomedov loses his first round in his career, I believe. I know at least in the UFC. To Conor McGregor, loses his first round ever in that third round. Conor takes it 10-9. Now we have it, tied up 2-1. Now it's like, okay, what can Conor do? Conor just looks fatigued, though. It's like, these late points in the fight, we see McGregor always kind of fade. It's like, what's the issue here? He has his own conditioning program, for God's sake. McGregor Fat program. It's like, you have this entire conditioning program. And I don't know, but I know personally that would have to be very, very tiring to have Kabib lay on you for 3 rounds, I know. But I don't think McGregor really ever had a shot of popping off his power because his power is drained pretty much in the first round. 4th round comes. McGregor is doing a decent job keeping him off. But eventually Kabib gets him against the fence and just shoots in deep. Gets the takedown, gets to his back, cranks on his neck like crazy. He's forced to tap. The aftermath was insane. Kabib going after Dylan Danis, and then Khabib's training partner hitting McGregor in the cage. But, I'm not a big fan of that trash. I don't think it belongs in our sport, and it just made it look like the WWE. So, that's not really what I'm here to cover. I really want to cover the fight because, our predictions were, X obviously took Khabib by submission, and I thought Conor would knock him out within 2 rounds. X was right. Was right.
Thank you.
Our boxing guy program. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right, not the guy.
I'll say it again. Thank you.
No, it was a good fight, though, right? Conor's calling for a rematch. I don't think that's the next move. I think it's pretty well dominated. But Conor McGregor was the biggest star in MMA.
Still is.
Me personally, I feel like this. Well, yes, he is, but this really hurts his name, right? This damages his brand because, yes, he lost to Nate Diaz, but Nate Diaz was a short replacement fight. Mm-hmm. It was 2 weeks, or even less than 2 weeks, Nate Diaz comes off vacation from Mexico and takes on McGregor. People are like, oh, complete different style, it's okay. And then he gets him in the rematch. Now we're like, okay, yeah, McGregor is amazing. Then he does what he does to Eddie Alvarez at UFC 205. We're like, wow, this guy, he's on another level again. But this fight really humanizes Conor McGregor in my eyes. Full training camp. He had all the animosities built up to it. Great trash talk. And then ultimately he's dominated. Can't get what he needs to get off standing, and then is dominated on the ground. To me, I think the next fight is the winner, Dustin Poirier and Nate Diaz for him. Maybe just Nate Diaz. And I think if he takes on Tony Ferguson, who had a great fight with Anthony Pettis in the co-main event. Anthony Pettis broke his hand, was forced to stop the fight. Second time, I think, he's broken his hand in 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Really unfortunate ending for that fight. It was a great fight. Insane.
It was. It really was.
I really love watching Tony Ferguson fight. And all of us, we all watched the McGregor fight live. Max, I just want to. Well, what did you see in McGregor that would have been different from his past performances?
Like I said earlier, you had a not so old lion get pushed out of the pride by the younger, stronger lion. You know, McGregor's still a guy he's still a great fighter. You know, there's a lot of guys in the UFC that he can still beat with the ease. He still is Conor McGregor. Only problem is when he gets a younger, stronger, more hungrier, more vicious, more nastier fighter. And Kabib, like, you know, Kabib was on another level in regards to aggression and relentlessness. Conor came to fight. Kabib came to kill. You know, that's what I saw in the fight. I mean, first round, Kabib brought the fight to him. Who have you seen outside of Nate Diaz to stand up and throw shots back and forth with Conor? I mean, like, you know, hands. There's nobody out here in UFC that does that except for Nate Diaz with the stand-up game. And what threw me off was, well, I don't want to say threw me off, but what surprised me was Khabib's stand-up game. He wasn't moving. He wasn't going anywhere. He was throwing shots back. As Conor's trying to get the distance and kind of say, okay, I can hit him here and I can hit him here, Khabib was doing the same thing. And he was a little bit more technical, definitely much stronger, more agile, much quicker, faster, and just more relentless in regards to wanting to win this fight and wanting to take out Conor McGregor. Conor wanted to come back and test himself and see if he could pull it off. He went 4 rounds with an undefeated champion, a younger, stronger, undefeated champion. Hats off to him, because the third round he won the third round. First round he was dominated. Second round he was definitely dominated. Third round he showed the old Conor McGregor. However, in showing the old Conor McGregor, it showed that Khabib wasn't going anywhere still. Khabib was just sitting there, you know, trying to figure out, okay, he's throwing these punches. I'm going to counter these punches, and eventually I'm going to get him to the ground again. Khabib's game plan was to get him to the ground, pound him out, break him down round by round until he was able to choke him out. And that's exactly what he did. Came 4th round when he choked him out, that crank, rear naked, whatever you want to call it. He choked him out. He choked him out. And you got to see the science leading up to that. It was like, I'm going to get him eventually. I want to get him early, but I'm going to get him regardless. And he just continuously attacked. He broke Conor's will. And once he got his back, that was it. He broke him down, choked him out, walked on him after he choked him out. I wasn't really cool with him jumping out the cage and going to do a drop kick from the top of the cage, or from you know once he climbed over the fence and everything. But I can understand the frustration and the anger, you know, at everything that led up to this. So, you know, hats off to both men for putting on a great fight. Ugly scene afterwards. You know, we'll see what happens, the fallout after that. But, you know, the question is, where does Conor go from here? Conor's an icon. Before Conor was a superstar, he is now an icon. He has transcended from one level to another plateau. If you walk down the block and you meet somebody with a last name McGregor, the first thing you're going to think is Conor. If you meet somebody with a first name Conor, the last thing you're going to think is McGregor. He is an icon. You know, so he can win or lose or draw any time with anybody. He will still be loved and respected by all. He has nothing to hang his head on. He took a tough loss. He can come back from it. He can come back and whip ass. He can sell fights. You know, he's a marketing marvel. And so UFC, hey, they'll come back from this. You know, they'll come back from this. Conor will come back. I don't see anybody beating Kabib anytime soon, unless he goes in there and makes a really bad mistake and leaves his chin open. Because I don't see nobody choking Kabib out. I don't see nobody ground and pounding him out. I see somebody. I don't even see somebody putting him in any type of arm lock or leg lock or anything. I see his chin being his weakest asset. It was strong enough to get past Conor's shots, but I still think if somebody hit him with the right shot, he's out.
Yeah, and you know, McGregor's really, through all the trash talk, he really is a humbling athlete.
Yeah, he is.
After the fight, he said, "Good knock. Can't wait for the rematch." And then he said, "I'll be back."
I don't want to see the rematch. Rematch would be even worse, honestly, in my opinion.
You know, I think the rematch you would see a very much faster McGregor. I think Conor honestly underrated Khabib's striking. I think we all did. I think we all did. I think we all just, you know,
all
were
of
like, you know, a lot of people did, you know, because, you know, we pictured Conor coming out, storming, dropping that Celtic left cross of his, looking for Khabib's shin, and Khabib desperately trying to get the takedown. But that wasn't the case. I had no idea, and I would never have dreamed that Khabib would just stand there and trade punches with Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of casual fans of the sport were just like, oh, well, Conor just needs to, you know, train more wrestling. But, you know, that doesn't make any sense. Obviously, you know, he trained a lot.
Really doesn't.
You can even tell by his body type, right? He was a lot bulkier in his midsection, as well as, you know, up top. He's a lot bulkier than usual. People are saying he's kind of out of shape. But obviously, he was bulkier because he knew he was going to be doing a lot of grappling this fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that was probably one of McGregor's best attempts at Khabib. Fair play. I think, honestly, it was just a fair fight. There's no ifs or what's would have happened. There's no question marks really around the fight. And, you know, I've been a Conor McGregor fan since 2013. And, you know, to see that loss kind of hurts because, you know, I'm just like, man, he's such an icon of the sport. It's like Muhammad Ali of MMA. You want to see him continue on, be successful. But at the end of the day, as me as a fan of the sport, you know, and as a future journalist of the sport, I can really respect Khabib's greatness at this point.
Mm-hmm.
To know that he went out there and took an icon like McGregor, completely handled business as a professional, had virtually no slip-ups. It was a beautiful performance, and I'm really excited to see where he goes next. Again, I think Tony Ferguson's the fight to make. Hopefully that's the next fight that takes place with him. But all in all, UFC 229 had a terrible ending, but it was a great card across the board. OSP, Dominic Reyes was a great fight. Dominic Reyes, I was dominating OSP in that one. Michelle Waterson getting wing up for Felice Harry. That fight was great as well. There's just a lot of Derek Lewis, by the way, funniest fight of my life.
One of the greatest knockouts I've seen in a while also.
You know, that fight the entire time, I'm frustrated at Volkov, right, because he had Derek Lewis so tired. I mean, from the get-go, and he just never put on the pace. And obviously why, because, you know, Derek Lewis can end the fight in one shot. And that's what he did. Literally, I'm like, why isn't Volkov really pressuring to get this fight done? I know, you know, Derek Lewis carries a lot of power, but come on. But then, 11 seconds left in the fight, Derek Lewis obviously down all 3 rounds and just clocks him with the right hand from hell and just puts him on his ass. It was a great ending, and, you know, the post-fight interview was hilarious. His social media literally doubled in size after that. So shout out to the Black Beast Derek Lewis out of Houston. I really hope to see you challenge. I really hope to see him challenge for the belt next because, you know, obviously, you know, he said, you know, quote unquote, his ass needs more conditioning, cardio. But, you know, at the end of the day, he can't keep downsizing himself. He was the number 2 heavyweight headed into this fight. Gets a really nice come from behind knockout. I mean, why not see this guy? I think honestly though, it's either Stipe Miocic or Curtis Blades for a number 1 contender.
I think that might be. I think he's doing that as a that's his way of it. You know, he's comfortable with who he is. He's honest. He's comfortable. You know, and he understands exactly where he's at with his career. He's not rushing himself to fight for a world title. He knows that it's going to happen. He realizes that there's a lot of things that he needs to work on, and it showed in this last fight. You know, he can't rely on a one-hitter quitter every time he's out there. So there's some things he got to work on, and we'll see what happens in this next fight.
Yeah. Well, if that recaps UFC 229 for me, I know you have some boxing to cover, so I will.
I also wanted to touch on, before we get to the boxing, I wanted to touch on the PFL also. It was some tough fights, man. Some tough fights on last Friday at the PFL. I was saddened to see Kelvin Tiller and Andre Harrison take a loss. Both guys lost their matches. They won their first match. I believe Andre Harrison won his first match, but he lost his second match against Lance Palmer, who he beat previously. I forgot which organization, but he beat him previously in his career. But you know, it was kind of sad to see Andre Harrison take his first loss of his career, and now Lance Palmer moves on to fight for the $1 million this coming December 31st. So PFL, another phenomenal card this past Friday in New Orleans. A lot of good matches, a lot of knockouts, a lot of submissions. I'm just excited because Now they're going over. I believe they're going this Saturday to Long Beach, California. So we're gonna make sure we get somebody over there to cover that card. You know, to attend that and support that as best as often, and kind of meet with Ray and Carlos on site while they're there. Just get some more info and things like that. So everybody stay tuned to PFL. Again, this Saturday, October 13th, they got another great card coming from Long Beach, California. Stay tuned, locked in. Brooklyn Fights, Shoot the 5 will be on the scene for that. But this past Saturday, DAZN, Matchroom Boxing, some good fights. I was really happy to see the boys from Sosa's camp out of Atlas Cops and Kids make their pro debut. You know, two of them won. Nikita the White Chocolate and Rashad, I forgot his last name. He won his fight. Nkosi Solomon, he lost his first professional fight. This was his pro debut. But I know that kid, I know the young man. He's going to definitely come back stronger and better in his next fight. Tough. It was a great main event with Jesse Vargas against Thomas Delorme. Fight ended in a draw. It was a good back and forth slugfest between two welterweights trying to, make their names at 147. Jesse Vargas is a former junior welterweight, super lightweight champion. Thomas Delorme, he's a tough guy. Stepped up from super welterweight. From super lightweight to welterweight. Was previously signed with Mayweather Promotions. Now they had a fight on DAZN, Matchroom Boxing in Chicago. So I'm pretty sure a rematch is they're probably working on a rematch. But hey, Big Baby Miller, my guy, knocked out Tomas Adamek in the second round. Dominating, devastating performance against Tomas Adamek. Gets him one step closer to Anthony Joshua. I believe Anthony Joshua will fight Big Baby April 13th. I know Anthony Joshua said he wanted the winner out of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. I do not think he's going to get the winner out of that fight because he had an opportunity to fight Deontay Wilder before he went and fought Alexander Povetkin. But he chose to fight Alexander Povetkin, and I think Deontay Wilder right now is focused on his own legacy. They will meet. They will meet eventually. However, I think the next fight for Big Baby Miller and the next fight for Anthony Joshua should be between them two guys. So we'll see what happens come April 13th in Wembley over there in the UK. But that's really all I got for now for boxing.
1 second, actually. I do have to ask you a quick question.
Sure.
I've been watching the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder press conferences.
Here we go.
What's going on there? Okay, it just feels so safe to me because how close they get. It's like, okay, if you're really about it, if you really, really just want to crack each other, obviously they get fined, of course, and all that stuff. But it's like they get that close. It's just, remember, there's always like three people between the fighters.
Yeah.
Separating the two. They just get so close. I'm just like, what's going on? Do you find it cringy? How do you look at these press conferences right now?
I look at it as I'm glad they're over. That's first off. I couldn't deal with too many of them. I went to the first one out here. Well, not the first one, the second one. The first one was in London. I went to the second one out here. They had at the Intrepid in Manhattan. It was a pretty good press conference, and I definitely understand what you're talking about with them being too close and bumping and rubbing noses and things like that. It's the sell to fight. These guys are professional athletes. They're professional fighters. There's really no real bad ill will towards each other where they can't be on the same stage or next to each other. They're promoting, they're selling the fight the best way they can. At the end of the day, they're two world-class athletes. They're two world-class champions. They have the utmost respect for each other. Outside of them doing what they do on the stage and selling the fight and with the antics that go along with it. These are guys who have had conversations, who have probably prayed on the phone with each other. When Tyson Fury was going through his midlife crisis, I would say, with his depression and his mental health issues and the substance use, Deontay Wilder was right there supporting him, encouraging him to get himself back together in hopes that they can get a fight together. So, Deontay Wilder's been a big support to Tyson Fury in his mental health care and his care and his physical care, his wellness all around. And now that the fight has been made and they finally are at a point where they're going to fight, it's really like, okay, thank you for the help. You got me back where I needed to be. You motivated me, and for that, I will grant you an opportunity to fight you. Fighting a guy like Tyson Fury or fighting a guy like Deontay Wilder, this is history in the making. These are two of the biggest heavyweights ever in boxing, two of the biggest heavyweight champions ever in boxing, and they're not world-class names, but they can get there. And the only way they can get there is with each other. So I think it's a good matchup. This is why I don't think Anthony Joshua is going to get the opportunity to fight either man come April, because I don't think the first fight between these guys is going to end in a knockout. I think this fight is going to be a tough fight for both men. I think it just might go the distance. And if it goes the distance, I'm leaning towards Tyson Fury pulling it out. If it goes the distance, I'm leaning towards Tyson Fury to pull it out, only because he's the bigger, stronger guy. And I think Deontay Wilder, he does tend to fade. I don't want to say fade, but his conditioning does the decrease towards the later rounds. And I think by 7th, 8th, 9th round, if Deontay Wilder hasn't caught him by then, it's going to be a really tough for him to pull it out. So I'm predicting Tyson Fury to win by decision. I'll go on record and say it now, unless I see something that might change my mind later on. I mean, I know Deontay Wilder's fast. I know he's strong. I know his jab is official, and I know his right hand is official. I just think there's something right now that is missing in technique where Tyson Fury would be able to pull out the win. But again, to answer your question, it's not a fairy tale. These guys actually like each other. They respect each other a lot, and everything. The bumping and the shoving and the closeness when they're on the stage each other. It's just to sell the fight, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, and really quick before we get off, I just want to touch really quick. This is broke. Derek Lewis versus Daniel Cormier for the heavyweight belt is being discussed as the main event for UFC 230. So there's a strong possibility Derek Lewis does get a title shot November 3rd at UFC 230 against the double champ.
November 3rd?
Yes.
That fast? Wow.
Yeah.
And where is this taking place at? Where's the venue?
I don't know. UFC 230. I feel like it's in New York, but I could be wrong.
I thought is Nate Diaz not the main event of that card, or what?
No, that's UFC 2. No, that's actually not the main event.
Okay.
But this fight is in Madison Square Garden.
Okay. Might have to do some things to get up in there and see how it's looking. Oh, by the way, this Saturday, Brooklyn Fights Shoot the 5. We are definitely live and direct at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. We will be in attendance covering the Bellator. Was it Chael or Kale? I don't know. Mr. Sonnen.
Chael Sonnen.
That's your favorite guy. Fighting Fedor. How you pronounce Fedor's last name again?
Huh?
How do you pronounce Fedor's last name? Because I just call him Fedor.
Fedor Emelianenko.
Oh, well, that guy, yeah. That fight will be shown on DAZN. So make sure if y'all ain't, if y'all don't have your DAZN app, go out there and get it, download it, subscribe. Should be a good card. They got a pretty Ben Henderson is on the card, so it should be a pretty good card. Make sure y'all tune in. And my friend, the Malaysian Queen, 2016 Olympian Jennifer Chang, she'll be on the card as well, making her pro debut with Bellator. So make sure y'all tune in and watch. It should be something exciting, something fun, and I can't wait. Any last words?
That wraps it up for me.
All right. So stay tuned, stay locked. We're going to bring you another episode this week sometime. Shoot the 5. We'll be back in a few.